Hey guys, Jake Nicolle here. In today's video, we're gonna be taking you on a wild tour of us running around, doing sales team meetings, meeting with high producing agents out in Toronto before we go to a speaking event hosted by Jennifer Jones called Collaborate that I was very honored to go speak on. And we're gonna end the day off with watches, which is so much fun. Tag along. Check out these Cutco knives that they have. They're very sharp, very sharp. I like to carry them around on showings, just brand, right? Brand.
Just a practice wine with minor corrections. I know that Rachel mentioned some corrections on that wine.
Now we just need to move these deals forward, for one. And then for two, the last several weeks have slowed down a little bit with new listings. I'd probably say the last month has slowed down a bit with new listings. So it's time to push that needle forward again because now we're essentially working for January. Take a minute on your birthday and say happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
So grateful for you, man. Excited for all that's ahead and really excited to see the plans that God has in your life, bro. You know that I admire you, that I appreciate you as a friend and as someone who is family to me, and I love you, buddy. So
first let me take a selfie.
Even better, I love it.
I'm nervous. Alyssa, I just wanted to say happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
So I'm reviewing an inspection from one of our properties right now, but now we're gonna jump in the car, race all the way to Markham. We got a speaking gig this afternoon. We're hanging out with another agent and we got clients calling right now. It's all kinds of fun. So it's gonna be a crazy day. Follow along, guys. Cheers. For what you see the stuff that I'm selling too. The other day I listed something for sale on like one of the Facebook groups. This guy out of nowhere jumps in there. He's like, oh, great guy, great price.
I assumed it was a good price, but I just wanted to back it up.
I know, that's the thing. That's the thing.
You never know.
He's just backing me.
Yeah.
He's no
What a
idea.
deal.
Yeah. Now for this part of the day, when we're headed to this Collaborate event, it was a big honor to be invited. I was named EXP's Rookie of the Year for 2022, and having the opportunity to just share on a panel about the things that I found useful, the books that I found useful, all the stuff that I'm sharing with you guys here on this channel in a very condensed version, alongside a bunch of other very successful realtors, was a ton of fun, an absolute blast. We were invited by Jennifer Jones, who is an amazing agent. We love you, Jennifer. And it was great to just go out and connect. And we also had Barry Cohen speaking there, who, for those of you who understand luxury in Toronto, is a pretty big player in the game. So tons of fun meeting everybody. Check out these clips. We had a blast.
Please give a very warm welcome to our first panelist, Jake Nicolle.
So first, Jake, we all are
Talk to me.
What is your secret to such great success with 30 million sold your first year?
Awesome. Well, first off, thank you so much, Jennifer, for having all of us here. What an amazing event. So big round of applause. We really appreciate that. Yeah, so first year in real estate, in case you guys didn't hear, the claim to fame right there was $750K in the first year, sold $30 million worth of real estate. Probably deserved a Rookie of the Year award, but I'll chase Nadia down for that later. So in terms of the strategy for success, and I think I got a couple minutes here, so I'll try and use them up, is number one, I filmed a whole video on YouTube. If you guys want to go check out my channel where I break down, just search my name, Jake Nicolle. There is going to be some scattily dressed girl and her husband whose names are Jake and Nicolle, so just ignore that. And once you get past that, you'll see I've broken down in these videos, like where did the leads come from? Where did I do all the business from? So I'll share a little bit of that today, but I'd say just to give you guys a couple core key ingredients for my success is number one, get around the right people who are doing the things that you aspire to do. So first and foremost, I had agents that I was around that were already doing large volume. So it wasn't shocking that if I was to mirror their success, I would get a lot of those same outcomes. So number one, like really do get around the right people. The second thing is the reason I chose real estate is you don't have to reinvent anything. You don't gotta reinvent the wheel. I know we're talking about AI and all that's really exciting. I used all of zero AI my first year in real estate. So just know that you still gotta keep the basics the basics. Do all the essential stuff. So here's what I mean by you don't have to reinvent anything. There's this amazing book called The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. How many of you guys are familiar with this book? Okay? If you follow along on the YouTube channel that I've mentioned, we're also doing a full breakdown of how I created some tools and resources for myself when I first got started to show me if I want to do $1 million in my first year, let's say, well, how many appointments do I need to go on? And then in order to have those appointments, how many leads do I need to be generating? How many of those appointments do I need to go on in order to actually have a conversion where someone signs up, whether it's a listing or a buyer? And when you break down the numbers, like anything, if you want to make a goal achievable, you have to know what the target is you're aiming at. There's that famous quote, right? It's like, you can't hit a target you can't see. So the other thing is just making sure that you sit down and have all the metrics out in front of you so you know what it is you're trying to do. So I got around the right people. I recognized that the systems in this business, which is what I'm talking about, that book is a system. And if you use that book, what's gonna happen is you're gonna realize I can systematize my way all the way to success. And then the third thing is massive execution. I went out and I did all the things that I need to do every day. Probably if we sat down, I had conversations with you guys one-on-one and we talked about what you do with your morning routine. Are you doing the things every single day that are gonna lead you to success? So do you prospect every single day? Because my whole goal was just 20 conversations. As soon as I've done that, I could probably call it a day. I've done my work for the day. And whether that was having to go out and door knocking or sending Facebook messages of happy birthdays, because like all of you could touch your entire Facebook list once a year with just a really nice voice note that's a happy birthday message. So to boil it down, big long answer, but to give you guys some good perspective, it's like get around the right people, and if you don't have those people, go find a reason to add value to them wherever they're at and get around them. Have systems that you're employing in your business. Make sure you use a CRM religiously, like put everything into that CRM, because what happens is those people a year later will reach out and they'll suddenly be ready because you nurtured them along. And then ultimately the third thing there is execute. Go and do it. Nobody's gonna do it for you. And those are the things that I would attribute to that success. No, it's the same. Come on in.
They just suit you, man. Pun intended.
Pun intended. This guy with the suit pun. Staring down this dark alleyway over here.
Yeah, good.
Yo, look at some Rolexes. We're on our way right now to a Zenith, I don't actually know how you say it. It's a watch event. We're gonna go look at watches, look at Rolexes, look at Zeniths, look at all kinds of different stuff. And it's super exciting because we got Sebastian here and we're just these like watch dorks, wannabe aficionados. Sebastian probably already knows more about watches than I do, but I'm just like pumped. We're gonna go check a bunch of stuff out, which is really cool. And this is a great example of like, just go get in circles where people that you're inspired to be around are there. There's gonna be tons of cool people, like where Rolexes hanging out, talking about Rolexes, which will be amazing. And then we're also gonna get to establish relationships with an awesome AD, Eric, who's, you know, got access to Rolexes. He's somebody that we can long-term build a relationship with, hang out with, get to know. So tons of fun. Now we're gonna be driving through the country to get there for the next hour.
Or 30 minutes.
Or 30 minutes.
Yeah.
That's what
Finger drumming all day.
Closest in it too can be. Now we're strangers in the night.
Take Nicolle in his natural habitat.
Eating a protein bar, looking at watches, on the run. About to send a deal off right now.
Are you really?
Yeah.
That's phenomenal.
Video has nothing to do with real estate, but we're super excited because we're here. We're at Raffi's, we're here in Cambridge. Incredibly excited. We're checking out a bunch of Zenith watches today. Can't wait to see what they've got. Come follow us inside. Let's take a peek. Now, the reason I love watches so much, it started out as this childhood thing of just loving having a watch on my wrist, all the way to the point where I realized that these crazy things can actually be good investments long-term. And they're not the kind of investments where you want to put your life savings into them or you want to buy them on the speculation of the market, which there's been a lot of after COVID, but really buying them because you cherish these pieces and they mark monumental moments in your life. Now, this is a Rolex, and in the watch community, this is a Rolex known as the Batman. And I bought this watch from an authorized dealer, meaning I actually paid the retail price that you would see to buy something from a store. And here's just a summary of watches, is there are certain brands, like most things in life, that people tend to respect, lean toward, and value over other brands. And if you buy those brands over enough time, the products can appreciate. In this case, watches are so in demand that the second you typically buy them from a Rolex boutique, they are more than what you actually paid for them for, sometimes to the tune of thousands of dollars. Like this very watch would be thousands of dollars more expensive if you were to buy it on the gray market, meaning you buy it from somebody else who already owns it. Now, this is one of the first watch events I've ever attended, and what was so cool is I got to meet people who were antiques dealers, people who owned restaurants and a whole bunch of different franchises. And my big takeaway in spending time with these people is that when you get around people who have the money, frankly, to throw at stuff like watches, and some people at this event were wearing watches well into six-figure value watches, which is pretty crazy. But when you go to an event like this and you meet these people, you realize that they've got some pretty crazy stories. And as you spend time with them, you learn, you get to share stories and connect with them. And I wasn't going there just to network for real estate. I was really going there to show face, meet people, try and build long-term relationships, because that's my favorite way to do business. And it ultimately is the best way to do business, in my opinion.
You having fun?
Having an amazing time. I mean, look at these watches, man. Beautiful panda dial style watch, El Primero, gorgeous. I love too that they did this, like, made it look vintage with these indices, little rectangles inside. They put this faux Tina on it, so they created a bit of a patina effect. It's beautiful, beautiful dial. Super cool vibe in here. It's tons of fun. Hanging out with our guy Eric. Eric, man. Eric's the legend. I said right away, we look like we could be brothers over here. Look at us. Same complexion. I wear the same color suits to bring out the eyes, so good times, man. That's wild.
So cool.
Two of the whiskeys here are finished in wine casks, and Glenmorangie kind of started doing that in the early, late 1990s. So the first whiskey here is the Santa, which is a 12-year-old whiskey that's finished for its final 2 years in a combination of Oloroso and BX Sherry. Wow. So the fortified wine from Spain.
Event in the store and getting the invites out. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Helen Sorensen. She's the U.S. brand president from Zen.
Thank you. So, yes, I'm Helen Sorensen. I'm the brand president. It's so nice to be here. Thank you all so much for coming.
So awesome time at the event tonight. So much great conversation, music, even the food was incredible. My big takeaway from this is you just never know who you're talking to in the room. Like, one of the last people we talked to was this antique dealer wearing a Patek Philippe, very, very high-end watch, and had like this cool story of his background as an antique dealer, and then his wife owns some flower shop business. Just super fun to get out there, get in rooms, find the eccentric people in the rooms, have great conversations, and you might just be amazed at who you get to meet. So I hope you guys had fun hanging out with us today. I'm gonna enjoy my watch. Sebastian's gonna enjoy his. We're gonna try not to feel too much like we need to go buy all those watches because they're amazing. Thanks so much again, Eric, for inviting us out. We had an absolute blast. We look forward to seeing you guys again soon. Cheers.